Today we're discussing having fetish spouses or friends or relationships. We had a story, somebody came to us about falling in love with a person who had fetish tendencies, the person wasn't a bad person, he was a good person. According to her, he was kind, cared for her, took care of her family. He was always there. But she knew that he always consulted some fetish people to get certain things, and he believed so much in those things. And she was then worried, should I marry this man? I mean, was it a good idea to take the next step with him? And she was worried because she felt that she didn't want to lose a good man because of fetish tendencies. Now, fetish is in different ways. It means that maybe before he goes out, he has to do some kind of ritual. Before he does anything happens to him, he believes he needs to consult somebody to get the healing. They reference or they refer to those fetish principles before they move on in life. So what are your thoughts on this? Can you date? Is there a problem in dating somebody who is fetish, who doesn't probably belong to your own religious group or body? Or do you think it's a no-no, it's a deal breaker for you? Call us on the numbers on your screen. You can call us on 081-764-1679, 090-2416-3440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. We actually particularly like to hear from people who have actually experienced it. Where you dated somebody, did you marry the person or did you break it off? There are women who are also very fetish. Their fathers are maybe strong babalawos from their villages, and they give them backing. So when they go out, they're going out with that fortified.
I want to differentiate the fetishism and the Ifa religion.
Yeah, it's not Ifa. We didn't discuss Ifa.
No, because someone who believes in Ifa now, yes, they will say, oh, that person is fetish, but it's not. They just generalize that, oh, everybody is fetish. That person is not. That is that person's way of praying. Now, the fetish ones are the ones that they will go and meet Babalawo. Okay, see that Marian? That I want it to blind.
Cover it in the blood of Jesus.
No, I'm just giving you examples of, they use it for evil. They go and meet, and then even the so-called babalawos are not real babalawos. They are bad agents. Do you understand? So I want us to just differentiate. So
okay, so going by the definition of being a fetish, I was going to try to just Google it so we're on the same page. An inanimate object worshipped for its supposed magical powers, or because it is considered to be inhabited by a spirit. Now, that's one. So maybe it's not fetish alone we're talking about. We're talking about somebody who is involved in jazz also, somebody who uses magic powers, who believes in. So there are those who go to Ifa priest, and as you said, it's a religion to some people. And we can't say that is... Well, so I don't want us to have a negative connotation to it. We're just saying that this person believes in this inanimate object or needs to always have to reference it to do anything.
You know, there's going to be a problem with discussing this as Africans, as Nigerians.
Yes.
Because first of all, we have the westernization that has termed everything that Africans have, that's traditionally ours, our culture and our religion has been given the name evil, well, fetish. Because what you have just described is the African religion. People believe in Ifa, and usually they have inanimate objects that used to represent, these gods, or they also believe that these gods, these objects have the spirit of the gods within them. So just from that explanation, you have just separated. If it's not Christianity or if it's not Islam, then it must be fetish. So the conversation right now, I feel like it will be YK's place to teach us how, like until now, I would have said Ifa was a fetish religion because that is about, those spirits. But you have now explained to us that being fetish is being evil with the religion. So we have Christians who can be fetish as well, the way you have described it. So the bad agents, the ones who, we have people who would say they've taken some scriptures from the Bible to curse someone with it. So does that make that person fetish? Yes. Does that make that person evil? So those are the things. And I think this conversation will just enlighten us.
I want to give you a story of a friend. She wasn't a friend, she was an acquaintance. She got married to this guy. And, you know, he was living with his brother. The two brothers were living together. But they just started to notice many, many things about her. Like in the night, they would just see her walking around, blowing things. Do you understand? And then one day they went to check under the bed. They saw different kinds of skulls, and that is fetish. That is using whatever you believe in for evil or to trap a man. Because they are the ones that they will say, she has tied him to a tree. This woman has tied her husband to a tree, or this man has tied his wife to a tree. I think when you use different kinds of religion or to hold a person.
Yeah. So I get that. I'm coming to you, Bisi, now, because I want us to separate it. So, as you said, it's hard to separate because that's what anything but Christianity or religion or Islam, that's what they do. But where we are going to is when you are dating somebody and you're probably a Muslim or a Christian and he doesn't believe in your God, for example, and he's a good person and he believes in this thing, he gives us a name, you know, and that's what he worships in the morning, and he sacrifices and offers it, and he's a good person. He just believes that this is my little God, and that's what he does. Now, in our own religion, they say don't be unequally yoked.
Yes.
But then you meet a guy who is perfect gentleman, everything he's perfect, except for this thing that he's worshipping. So the question is, do we go into it, or do we just say we can't? Or that's the issue. That's the conversation, because people are being stuck because their parents or their family or their loved ones don't want them to go and marry somebody who they say is fetish, or he doesn't believe, he doesn't go to church, he doesn't go to mosque.
Okay, I like how YK and Miriam try to, put it in perspective. A Christian can be fetish. I've seen Christians who are fetish. They believe in God, and they know how to use some of the book of Psalms and some different things, combination with candles and all of that to do evil to people. Muslims can be fetish. So the idea of being fetish is taking out from whatever you believe in and using it for evil. That's the aspect we have to look at. And across religion, we have people who decide to be fetish. They don't just want to worship whatever they worship, in love and in peace and in compassion. They want to use it to control other people's will. That's where the problem is. Now, why people who are Christians will be afraid of, dating people who have other religion is because they may not be able to tell they don't understand how that religion works, 1. 2, they're not able to tell where it becomes fetish because they don't know the religion. But if you have an understanding of the religion, I have seen people who are traditionalists, who are moral to the core, who they are upright, they have integrity, they will stand for the truth. Even back in the villages then, when there are some native doctors that they will point out to say, this one is the voice of the gods. He is steadfast. He is trustworthy. He has integrity. And you see those mushroom ones who do the evil, they know them. So there's, even in our traditional religion, there's a separation between the people who uphold. Evil. So why I don't want us to just make it seem, because that's how our Western religion has painted it. That anything that is not the Western religion, you are a pagan. Or you are fetish, but that is not it. Because we had our traditional religious heads and people who were upright, who were true, who I believe that when they die, they will make heaven because they followed it the way it should be followed. And so across religion, like I said initially, you have people that are fetish. Now, the problem is, if you now get somebody, you're in a relationship with somebody, and the person, you're a Christian, for instance, and the person has another god that you worship. Even this worshiping of idols, we have some parts of Christianity that they pray to their crucifix. They pray to the dolls.
Holy Mary.
I didn't want to mention him, but they understand. It's a form of praying to crucifix. So you say this one, carve local person and prayed. You carve Oyibo person and pray. Now the same thing on a day, right? But are you using it for good? or are you using it for evil? Is that prayer for your own protection, for your children's protection, for life to go the way you want? Or you are praying because Moriah is overshining, let us shut her up. Do you understand? That is where we must make the separation. Yes. So, if you're in a relationship with somebody who will come back, will come back and say, they did this to me in the office, right? And I want to pray this kind of prayer to deal with the person. That person is fetish, whatever the religion is. And that's why sometimes when people are praying for fall down and die, enemy, I'm very weary of such people because that's being fetish. You are constantly focusing on the negatives, that you are even the enemy of yourself. You have not worked hard, you have not read, you have not done anything, but you believe that there are people in your family that are doing you, they are holding you down, and those people are fetish, and they're Christians. And so you must look, how do you relate, or how do you react to life situations that are bitter, that are not, hold on please, that are bitter, that are not pleasant, that doesn't seem good to you. How do you react? Are you easily cursing? Are you easily swearing? Are you easily getting naked in the night to pray against so and so?
Yeah.
You know that person is fetish. If you ask me, I can't be in that kind of relationships. I won't advise you.
So now that you've explained it that way, then the straight answer to what you've asked is no. But obviously, the way that question was asked is because that person believes that this is not a wicked person or who uses fetishness for evil. So that person is looking at fetishness as any religion that is not Christianity or Islam, but has to do with rituals and believing in...
So would you marry that kind of person?
So for me, personally, of course, I was raised Christian. And also, I grew up with a strong Islam influence. So it would have been, I would have done Christianity or Islam. That would have been easy for me.
Let me stay on you
but
for
I
a
would
second.
not marry someone. I said until today. When Waike just said, Ifa is not fetish, I have always believed it's fetish. So for me, why would I even go there?
But there's a part of it where, even as a Christian or a Muslim, they say, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and give unto
God what is
God's.
Yeah.
So they believe that we are Africans, we are Yoruba, we have Igbo, whatever it is. Let us give to this God. This is our family's on. We can still go to church and pray and worship God and give our life to Christ, but this one is for Caesar.
And
so when we come back, we'll
growing
discuss
up, I remember my
when we come back, we'll discuss that. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.